My good friends, I want to introduce you. Well, you've been introduced to my good, sweet brother, Cole, in Australia, early morning right now. And Cole and I met, well, almost 2 decades ago now.
Yeah.
In Australia. I had come in the footsteps of one of my mentors, David Data, and I came to a wonderful community in Australia with my wife, Suzanne, and we gave some trainings, teachings, workshops. And that's where we really met and befriended each other. Then I got to see back then the depth of who you are, your depth of being, your understanding, and what we came to ecstasy in the commonality and the sources of influences of our spiritual growth. So many in so many ways. And so we really get each other. So I'm so honored to have you here and to share my beautiful friendship and brotherhood with you, with my friends here. So welcome and thank you.
Yeah, same, Sachin. That was such a profound time. I remember you were staying here in my house, right here.
Yeah.
And yeah. And I remember I was just looking at my purpose in life and I could not find it. And I remember you just jumped off a seat and you took me down. You virtually took me down and held me down and held my throat and says, "What's your purpose?" I go, "Oh, I know." Like at the point of death, you know, at the point of death. I know exactly what I had to do. And it had to do with my music and put it out and, you know, promote myself as a guitarist. So yeah, thank you for that, brother.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. You know the scene, remember in Fight Club where the fellow played, Tyler Durden, and he holds a gun to the shopkeeper's head and says, "Hey, basically, unless you're doing what you really want to do, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to come back and I'm going to hit you." Yes. And aren't you dead anyways if you're not following your purpose in a certain way?
Exactly. You like turn against yourself, you know, like, you know, you were born with this exquisite gift, whatever it is for you or what is for me, right? If you don't give it, you choke on it. I think depression and all these states of unhappiness are pretty much that unfound gift being ungiven deeply.
Please share about that, brother. What's your experience? Because not only do you share your profound opening music, you also share with so many people in so many ways. You've done leader of men's work, spiritual, helping people come to deep spiritual awakening from within,
yes,
from discovering their own inner. Can you share about this, please?
Well, you know, for me personally, it was all about feeling. You know, it started with the music, you know, it trained me to feel. And then one day I was listening to Tony Robbins and he said, you know, you got to have your visual, auditory, kinesthetic levels aligned. And I was like 10 visual, I was extremely visual. I had 10 auditory from all my music and the refined tonality, you know, it's like playing each note is like an opening to God. Like you remember God when you play the right note, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But my kinesthetic levels were 2 out of 10. And he said, well, you know, if you want to be balanced, you want to really increase it. So I begin to practice what he said. And he was actually speaking very slowly. And I did that for 3 months. People could not recognize me because I was in this slow-mo. Everything was like, yeah, it's me. You know what I mean? And that really awakened me to something much really profound, because I begin to realize that there is a whole different realm of me, you know, which is the feeling realm, which is the work I do now. I basically help people to feel deeper than they believe it's even possible. And it's in these realms that the giving is very important, because if you go into very deep states of feeling, if you don't give it, you do drown in it. But this act of giving it away is what actually eases it off, and what actually makes it bearable. Because otherwise, this unbearable lightness of being, you have so much light in your whole body, you feel it in your feet, in your legs, in your whole body, in your bone marrow, right? But if you don't give it away, it turns against you in a way. So for me to learn to sit and hold these extreme, intense energies of feeling in a full free flow for an hour, and just simply, that's my meditation, is to find this profound state, not necessarily only positive feelings. I'm very happy to sit in something really nasty, negative, like terror or even rage or hate, So when those energies are given, they're just energies. Eventually, there is only one feeling, period. And what's your relationship to this feeling? Because it's you and it, which I believe is that whole self-love. People talk about self-love. Well, who is it that you love? Who is the one that love? The one that you still you.
Yes.
Because there is two of us here. There's a thinking mechanism and there's the feeling mechanism. This has been very expanded, expanding consciousness, expanding the mind. But this is like an unknown territory. And there is two ways of feeling. One is just feeling the feeling. And the other one is when the feeling is so free, it begins to express itself what it truly is. And only when that happens, the heart is born. Because you have this electro, feeling is magnetic, and that love between the two, that the magnetism between the two is what the love is. And it is the birth of heart.
Beautiful, brother.
So that's...
Well, I remember,
that's kind of my journey. Sorry?
I was saying, I remember the last time we were together, and you took me through this beautiful gently guided experience, which had me experience it was like the deepest reconciliation. It's like the Course in Miracles in a moment. It's like it was like the eternal self-forgiveness, the atonement, the one at one. And I had this, and it was so natural, and my heart was like literally, it was the ultimate fulfillment.
Yes.
So
that is the ultimate fulfillment.
Yes,
that is the ultimate. You are one with you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You're one with you, and then your heart begins to vibrate. It's a vibrational thing. And then every cell begins to vibrate, and it's as above, so below. It's not above, it's as above, so below. So when you have a beautiful relationship to every feeling there is. Yeah. I remember once I was doing this process with my friend Cindy, who you probably know. And she says, Cole, what's that thing there? And I go, I don't know. It feels like hate. And at that point, I just allowed myself to hate. See, I didn't hurt anybody. I didn't attack anybody. I was just allowing that feeling of hate to be what it is. Like, introduce yourself to me. And the hatred just expanded and expanded and expanded. And maybe took an hour. And I was expressing, I hate this and I hate this and I'm an embodiment of hatred, And guess what? I came to an end. And the most exquisite love came from that place, which was hate before. The most exquisite love I ever experienced in myself, without any influence of outside, just in myself. I'm going like,
gave yourself permission to feel even what we would consider negative feelings, evil, dark places we should avoid. But
Yes.
there's no avoidance. There's an acceptance and
Yes.
actually a diving in and a loving of that, you know, feeling it fully.
It's a relationship. It's a
Yes.
relationship of the two. So here is the feeling, and here is, let's say, I, hey? And so I'm loving this now. I've changed my mind about it. I've forgiven the hate, and I actually forgiven it to a point when I said, hate, I've been calling you hate, but maybe you're not hate. What are you? Remember that Enlightenment Intensive? Tell me who you are. Hey, hatred, tell me who you really are. And then something spoke from within.
Yes.
I said, hello, hello, darkness, my old friend. I'm talking back to you now. And our relationship changed. And so my unconditional love toward it, as unforgiven, the hate or the feeling began to love back.
Ah.
Yeah. See, it's not just loving the feelings, but does the feeling love you back?
Yes, okay.
Or, for example, in Course in Miracles, there is a very cool line. It says, Jesus was a man who saw the face of Christ in everyone, and he remembered God.
Yes.
And so you can train yourself to see the face of Christ in people, just simply by willing, by deciding to see something else than judge the beings.
Yes.
And then the most beautiful part of that is that you recognize them, but then they come to you and they say, gosh, you look familiar. Who are you? You know? And there is this communion that happens, that you not only see it in them, that they begin to see it in you. And now you unite in your whole self, which is the holiness, you know? Like the Christian terminology can be so distorted, but holiness is absolute wholeness of the self, breathing within the self. And when that happens, when the feeling begins to really, this is for me the true understanding of Kali, she chops your old head off.
Yes.
She points to the new one. She shows you who you truly are. You know, so who I thought I was as called is just gone. And this other part is going like, hey, this is who you are. And you sit in there in absolute awe, you know, he's in there in absolute awe, like, oh my God, I was so wrong about everything.
You know, sometimes the stirring of the sweetest part of the heart is the most difficult at times to want to reveal, to even want to access or become aware of, or to, you know, like, what's that, Cole, from your experience?
You know what?
Why the denial? What's the denial?
Well, let's look at it first as what's happening right now. Like what I'm feeling, like you're this warrior man, you're strong, you know, you're an amazing man. Your mission is coming out of you. You're like, you oozing your mission, right? There you sit there, and we are soft. There's a softness here. And how difficult for man to be truly soft, but present. Not soft and collapse, but like, hey, brother, here we are. Can you feel this? And like, you are 15,000 kilometers away from me, and I feel you in my room. And you feel me right there, right? And that's the relationship in the heart. That's the subtle vibration, which is tangible, you know, it's just oozing out of you, and hopefully it's oozing out of me, and we're in it.
I believe, who else is oozing out of it?
Huh? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It goes beyond time. It says it goes beyond time, space.
Beyond time, space.
When your heart's open in love, it doesn't matter about yesterday, tomorrow.
Yes, and there is also the dark side of the heart. You know, to me, it's like the front heart, which is, hey, I love you. But there is the backside of the heart, which might hold lovelessness.
Mm.
Can you allow yourself to feel loveless? You know, when there is no love, you know, there are times there's no love. There are times I don't feel love. And so I have no problem with that. I'm good in separation. It's like, oh, I'm split. And I'm good with that. It's like the acceptance of what is.
Yes, the acceptance of both dualities.
Yes. And then suddenly the lovelessness feels my acceptance of it.
And then loves you back.
You know, Satyan, there is such thing as like, you know, with the feelings. Like, let's say you have a feeling and it's like, can you accept it? What's really important thing is to be able to say, no, I don't have acceptance for certain feelings. I think this is when I have clients and when I talk to people, you know, they tell me the story. I say, well, how does it make you feel? And when they finally get to the real feeling, they say, do you have acceptance for this feeling? What's your relationship to it? And they say, not good. And then the next question is that okay? Say no. Because we have this, when there is non-acceptance, there's also the non-acceptance of non-acceptance.
Yes.
And that's the key. That actually what locks it.
Yeah. And the acceptance softens it. It softens it and reveals it.
First, you have to see that you do have non-acceptance. And that non-acceptance goes deep. And it's, you know, actually there's no problem with feelings. All of this needs unscrewing, basically, because this is screwed. This is the one who decides that to love the feeling or not to love the feeling. Once the feeling is fully loved, it just expresses itself.
Yeah. And you're living as a continuously flowering being. Your legs aren't stuck in the mud. You're not excessively future pining.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful.
And isn't that how nature lives?
Exactly. See, the thing is, this is beautiful. Is that I use these metaphors of like, you know, everything's going up and out, like trees going up and out, the flowers up and out. Human being goes up and then pushes all the feelings down. Right? It's like, oh, I'm not expressing this one. Oh, I'm emotional right now. Sorry. You know, the apologies for being emotional. Now it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm emotional right now. Right? Instead of going, oh my God, I'm totally emotional right now.
But brother, may I invite you, please, to take us into another place of deep feeling? And I invite all my friends, please, you know, from what my brother Cole has shared, just to allow yourself to love what you're feeling, layer by layer, moment by moment.
All right. Give you another one, hey?
Oh. Oh. I feel we're part of such a unraveling. And the intensity of emotions, personal, societal, for all the valid reasons, all the intense input coming into consciousness, big changes, big changes in habits and lifestyles, and it's just waves and waves, personal and huge. Please share on that.
Well, I've got this saying, it's like, if you don't ooze, you lose. You know, who are you? You know, like, there you are oozing. You know, in a feminine, it's more like the radiant. In masculine, it's more like so solid and empty, unmoving, free. You know, that sense of freedom. You know, that's the most masculine thing. But how do you ooze that? Well, you just feel it. Feel freedom, right? Can you feel it in your feet? You know, in your ankles, you know, in your knees, in your legs, in your bone marrow. Free, yeah. Freedom in your bone marrow. You feel it in your hips, you know, in your sexuality. Free, you know, that sense of freedom. You know, in your chest, free heart to express whatever it wants to express. You know, in your mind, a mind where mind stops thinking the little thoughts and just enters into this vastness of presence, where a different level of thinking kicks in, where your true purpose comes through the core of the being when it's at peace and when it hears itself. So I think it's all about this, you know, embodiment. I mean, you know, you taught me all this stuff, Satyen. You told me how to be present. You were the man who brought me into this. Like, I was 44, I didn't know what it means to be present and how to be present for a woman, you know, wholeheartedly. And truly, unless you truly love all your feelings, you can't even love a woman completely.
Yes, absolutely.
And this is the biggest subject that you know, I think it's the forte of.
You can't love life completely, even.
No.
You can't love life. You can't have full relationship with it if you're disconnected here to that.
Yes.
Yeah, and I remember years ago when I was in the jungle and I was with the sacred medicine ayahuasca. I had taken groups. And I had this experience where deep in the jungle, in the medicine, the experience of the feeling of she's about to give me my deepest desire, what I really want. And, you know, knowledge of the universe, these things are interesting. So yeah. I started getting it like a drip. It was like libraries, and I could feel libraries of the universes above me.
Oh my God.
Libraries of the universes of all sacred knowledge. But then it's also, I was revealed, there was a part of me that wanted just knowledge, but that she was whispering, there's more if you want.
Yes.
And then I said, what do I really need? What's the most important for me? And all of that went away. My, who knows, lifetimes of longings for celestial knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And then she says to me, she goes, the most important thing is simplicity of heart.
Mm. Yeah.
And I'm not always there. My heart gets complicated. My mind comes in. But for a warrior, the idea is the intention is that you live true to it.
Exactly.
And you aim to keep feeling what is the true to it. What is that?
That's the thing. It's like when I do my men's group, we do circles. They're like, well, they start in a story. I don't really listen to stories very much, because every story is a result of a feeling that's usually denied. So for me, I always go, well, let's go to where it is. Let's go to the root of the problem, if there is one, right? And what's a really interesting thing? So like, well, there's a story, and I go, how does it make you feel? First answer is always a lie. Even you might look, you might even look that there are tears and everything. It's still a lie. This is where there is like 3 levers. For me, it's like 3 times does it, the Holy Trinity is just like that. How does it make you feel? Then within seconds, the ego rushes in and establishes anything it knows or what it thinks it is. And I go, no, that's not it. So like, how does this really make you feel? And then there is this dropping in. And in the past, I used to think that's it. That's good. But then came the third one, when there is absolute silence. And every single person in a room can feel the feeling of the man. It's unspeakable, but it's fully communicative. It fully expresses itself. And that comes the next question. What is your relationship to that? Yeah, because it's always that relationship and that pressure down, instead of allowing the feeling flow through the body and go up, which is that Kundalini experience, really. I keep hearing about Kundalini like something going up the spine. For me, it's like this cauldron. This is as wide as this, that flows up from the bottom. So the feeling is a very, very unknown realm. True feelings, they don't talk. Even when you were speaking about that experience right there, you say simplicity, and you went into this quiet place. There is a place even below that just doesn't say a word, just is. And oh my God, when I'm there, that's unity. To me, that's not only unity with myself, but unity felt with everything to the very end of cosmos, if there is such a thing.
Can you guide us through something as a group here?
Sure. Well, so what is it that you're feeling right now? And step back from your mind and let the feeling inform you. So for me, I go, God, help me now. Or the Holy Spirit, whatever you use, whatever the guiding, whatever is like the strength beyond your own, something that you ask when you're on your knees. What is that? When you ask, God, how am I really feeling right now? And then you step back and let the feeling inform you. And if you feel too dense, for example, like right now we're in a very beautiful space together, but if there is somebody out there that feels a bit dense, what's a very good thing to do is to make a little bit of sound, like whatever feels good, just to make sound. And another thing is it's very important not to look up, or even but have eyes looking down and waiting as if something was to emerge from the bottom. and just waiting for what is emerging right in this moment. So Satyen, I invite you to look downwards. Down, yeah, that's what it is. Down. And then whatever arising, notice the attitudes toward these feelings that are arising. What is the relationship I have to this me, this still me? And for like more advanced practitioners, it's really important to know as well that feeling doesn't stop at the end of our feet. It's connected to the magnetic of the earth, which is really the fastest internet there is. If you keep going deeper into the feeling and allowing more, the unspoken, to arise, you will begin to feel the vastness of feeling, which is, in my view, way bigger than any consciousness. It's a completely different realm. Yes. So what did come out for you just there, Satyen?
I'm just in deep love, tranquility, like acceptance. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oneness. Why don't you take us into another magical realm?
Yeah?
Yeah.
One of these?
Yeah.
One of these realms?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh. Beautiful.
I just remember when I was visiting you 4 years ago, remember?
That's right.
That was the best night where we were all sitting together It was about 10 of us, and we were like playing our most favorite pieces of music from everywhere, from CDs and from YouTube and, you know, live. And it was just most creamiest night.
Every time I'm with you, my heart is always so just bubbling with joy and happiness. And, you know, every time we meet, it's, there's no time, you know?
Yeah. Yes. And that the capacity to feel, because we feel together, you know. And I think, you know, just coming back to David Data's kind of like the stages, you know, it's like that second stage is so important. Like when I started doing David's work, we all just wanted to be this third stage man, you know. But then man was saying, you know, I can do it for 10 minutes, but, you know, then I can't do it. And I realized, well, yeah, because you're not powered by the feminine. True masculinity is always powered by feminine. And that's the second stage. I think is such an important step, you know, for women to really get in touch with the divine masculine in themselves, because there's masculine, you know, that goes on the jobs and accomplishes the missions, but the ultimate divine masculine is like an awakening of the feminine, you know, up here. Whereas for men, it's to get to the bottom of the feelings, love them unconditionally until all the mud is cleared up and this golden mirror opens up. And it's the golden mirror that gives you your true mind, you know. So the second stage, very important. Very important. Like, I think to me, I'm still there. I love that. You know, like how deep can we go into the quality of subtle feelings, you know?
I don't know if I would call that second stage. I would certainly say that it's it transcends any stages. It's third stage. Stage using using that form, the idea of feeling yourself infinitely all the way through and having no resistance.
Yeah, but we don't talk about third stage. We only talk about second. Because in the third stage, you can't talk.
Well, the thing about the third stage, if you're talking about it, you probably don't know anything about it, which it's very, which is perfect, because we don't need to know anything about it.
Like in third stage, all is known.
Oh, brother. What's in your heart these days? What are you seeing? What are you feeling?
Very hard to put into words. I guess I, you know, still feel that, you know, pain that the world's going through. I mean, we have at the moment, there is so much, like I don't have coronavirus, but I always have this like, you know, a bit of a dry throat, because I think there is so many people suffering in these upper realms, you know, that's where it really hits. And I think it's just that those inner attack thoughts coming back at us with a virus, you know. And I think this is just such a global catastrophe. What's really happening at the same time, I think I also see the gift of it, like being able to just be alone for days and days, sitting here, you know, in a lockdown. But yes, that part of it is still for me untransformed in a way. You know, the human suffering, you know, listening to clients and just how much pain when people finally put the presentation face off, you know, the Facebook happy face off, and just seeing what's really going on there. And there is still a lot of conflict. So I can sit here in my bliss bubble, but you know, to be able to share and help people to take them down into these inner realms that have all the answers for them. So
Yes.
very much feeling that kind of pain that's also still going around. Yeah. And I also feel there's like another step for me to take. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I'm starting to have a sensation of it.
When friends come to you with, especially during this time, a type of deep stirring that I meant for something bigger, I meant to actualize an arising or an aim or a vision or a mission or a contribution of some sorts, how can they work with that?
For me, whatever it is, I think it's very simple. How does it really make you feel? And what's your relationship to that? Because everything, the feeling is magnetic. And whatever's denied, it will draw whatever it is to itself. So you will draw people you need, and they will attack you, or they will love you, or, you know, depends what that denial is, right? So I think that's really important, to work with your own magnetic field, so it begins to draw what you want in your life there to be. And if you don't have denials, you got to clear your own denials. So I always work with just that very simple thing. And how does that make you feel? And in my belly, I call it like a ding dong, you know, there's this little bell that goes on when someone's really feeling.
Yes.
When they're really there, it goes ding, ding. So no matter what they say, I know when they're there and when they're not there. But once they're there, I make it visible, like make that feeling visible. And have a good look what's held down there, and let it express to you. It's not about going into the feelings. That's actually a bit of an invasion of privacy. It's, you know, you sit there and you get the feeling to inform you. So that's my main focus, is to make brothers and sisters aware that feelings are not thoughts. And when you name them, you're just in a you're in a history, in a library of your ideas of feelings. But you're not in the now, because in the now, a feeling is brand new. Like right now, there's a brand new feeling arising. If it's not brand new, then you just regurgitating, you're caught in a past association with yourself. So what's the now feeling? And can you make it visible?
Beautiful.
So whatever the subject is, there's always the answer is, well, how does it make you feel? And what's your relationship to it?
The root in.
The root in, man. And then, like I was saying in that moment of silence, that the main power is earth.
Yes.
And we're so disconnected from it because we're disconnected from our feelings. But once the feelings and legs and feet are connected to the feeling, like this is the extensions of your heart, you know? This is mind, is extension of that. Head is extension of your mind. But the legs are extensions of your feeling body. And once you start going that way, there is no end. You know, people love going that way. What's come from above. But that way, you know, there's an unconscious belief that there's hell down there. It's the other way around. Hell is here. The heaven is below.
Yes.
The direction is wrong. It's not up there. It's there. It's so there. And the kingdom of heaven is within. Fully true. It's fully true. Where is it? Find it, and then you go to give it. Otherwise, you'll choke on it.
Thank you so much for who you are and your beauty of share. Please take us home into a space, and we will. Any last words? Anything in your heart you wish to share to complete?
Sachin, I just want to thank you, brother, because you asked me good questions. I hate those interviews where you go and they ask you all these questions. It's like, that's how I don't want to talk about that. You asked me all the questions that are my heart. That is my mission. You know, my mission is this, you know, awareness of feeling, and you played to it without me asking you or without any prep. You just guided me straight into where I wanted to be. So, you know, that was a good interview. Thank you.
Love you, brother. You make
I love you, brother.
You make everything easy. My heart.
Yeah. Like you said, it's simple, remember?
Yes.
It's so simple.
Thank you so much for showing us the simplicity of the heart.
Yeah.
So simple. What do you feel about it, and what's your relationship with it? And really to stay with it with a real tenderness, a real willingness to be in relationship and have the feelings be in relationship with you.
That's the cracker. I saw you really got that. Your face just went, oh, they gotta love you back.
Yes.
Because that's a relationship, you know. You cannot love that which will not receive you, because it's electromagnetic field. Everything is electromagnetic field.
Yes.
And without the feeling, there is no real heart.
Oh.
Amen.
To the great one. To the great one.
To the great one, yeah.
Please take us home take us home for the night, all right?
All right. Well, I'll play Joy's one, okay? The little waltz kind of thing.
Yes, please.
What's kind of okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, my brother. Big hugs.
Oh, love to you, brother. Thank you so much, Sachin.
Thanks, friends.
Thank you.
Thanks, friends.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay.